Thank you so much, ma'am, for that brief and crisp introduction. It's been a great pleasure. And already we have more than 200 people watching us on YouTube, and they are giving amazing feedback on the insights which were shared by Shahabuddin sir. And looking forward for more wonderful insights from our panelists today. So let's begin with our first panelist, Mr. Syed Saifullah of Gateway Public School, to share his idea. Sir, you will be given 8 minutes plus 2 minutes for queries. So you can conclude your discussion by 12:13. Thank you, sir.
I'm trying to share the screen, Ali. Can you enable that? Ali, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. Sir, I'll give you the host rights so that you can share the screen there.
Yeah, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, very good morning. I think Dr. Shahabuddin sir has set the ball rolling with sharing a lot of ideas across what we need to do for education. I think he has touched several topics, and to start with, right, what I wanted to share is like for the future of education in Vanembadi, right? See, the first question when you say Vanembadi, what comes to your mind is either it is leather, biryani, chai, tea, mangoes, right? That's what we get into mind. Education has been there for long. It has been there for like more than 100 years. I mean, Shahab sir was telling we had institutions even from 1882. This is something I haven't heard of. I mean, we have been in the business of education for very long, very long. I am just trying to say that, you know, things are changing, fast changing. How do we get into a mode where the needs for today, what do we need today? I am being very focused. I think we have a panel of a lot of panelists there. So I'm assuming they will cover different aspects. So I'm going to focus more. So let me begin. I know I'm running out of time. So first question is this. As Shahabuddin sir was telling his experiences while interviewing, I concur with him 100%. How many engineers are really qualified? I mean, I'm taking engineers. You can replace it with engineers, doctors. It can be anything, right? Are they really qualified? I mean, the answer is very simple, very, very simple. The surveys, I have taken some surveys from the news, like 80% of our engineers are not fit, right? 80%. Some suggest even 94%. This is from the CEO of Tech Mahindra, right? 94%, they're not fit, they're unfit. What does it mean really? Where are we heading? Right? I want all the people here to contemplate. And if you really look at what is happening, I'm just specifying myself to students now, right? How many students after the exam, they remember things, right? They go, what happens really is like they memorize, they take the test, get good marks, and they forget. The cycle repeats, right? And the important question is how many students can really apply these skills in life? If he's an engineer, we have electrical engineers, they don't know the ABC of electrical engineering. Mechanical engineering is the same thing. I do a lot of career counseling. When I meet people, he's a computer science master, graduate. He doesn't know programming. He says, I'm not interested in programming. Why? So there is something seriously wrong, right? What is really missing? That's what I'm trying to come at. There could be different reasons. This is my belief. That's what I'm sharing here, right? So is it lack of higher education? Is it improper infrastructure, right? But if you really look at higher education is not there, infrastructure is not there, the same problem is even, I have met people from Chennai, from Bangalore, cities, they have the same issues. So the problem is not just Vanembadi here, right? The problem is how we teach is what I'm trying to arrive at. So the first thing that comes to mind, the way we teach. I mean, there is nothing, I'm trying to blame the teachers here. This is something like, this is my perspective. The reason why I'm trying to say is rote learning. What is rote learning? Ratta. Right? In Urdu we call it ratta, in Tamil we call it dabba, right? They just keep repeating it. But what is the downside of rote learning, right? The problem is, for instance, let me take the example of 10th standard exams, right? It was supposed to happen in March. They changed it to, because of the pandemic, they changed it to April. The students were learning and learning and learning. What happens? They learn, they forget. They learn, they forget. They have to keep repeating it. And the second thing is like, if you look at any education system, any book system, right, from first standard till 10th standard or 12, from LKG to whatever, there is a system that keeps upgrading, right? The whole curriculum keeps upgrading. If you get into rote learning, the moment you finish the first standard exam, the kids forget, right? So they keep forgetting, they cannot apply, they are not even, there is no deeper understanding of the subject as such, is what I'm trying to arrive at. If you don't understand, how will they apply these skills in life? So if you look at what is really important, right, in terms of education, academics, we know that academics is very important. It is everything put into academics in terms of education. It can be all the subjects we're talking. Apart from that, the extracurricular things. In extracurricular, it can be sports. It can be so many things. I don't want to get into too much of details. I mean, with the value of things, I want to focus more on moral values. What is happening today? What is happening today? The students, are they respecting the elders? Are they respecting the teachers? I run a school and the students are threatening the teachers. I will tell my dad and ask you to reprimand. That is the kind of level of education the students are getting it. From where they are getting? From where they are getting these kind of things, the moral values, respecting elders, respecting parents. I have parents who come and say, sir, my son is not even obeying me, right? The moral values is something which we need to really focus on, apart from the extracurricular things. So, right? So while talking about teaching, I think this is one thing I keep repeating. I don't know if it is blocking. So what is really there? I keep telling my teachers as well, right? There should be fun. That's how you can make it. The kids should play, but the main thing is they should also learn. I hope everyone will agree to that. See, kids, why the kids are not interested in education today? Because the fun part is missing. They are asked to memorize. They're made to become robots. They are made to become like machines. That's what is happening. The fun part, the play, and learning is there, but learning is more like they're memorizing, they're forgetting. They're not able to retain it for future usage, right? And when we plan, one thing we should keep in mind. I mean, this is for all the educationists. I think we have got. I think we have most of the panelists are from the leading schools of Vanambadi. We all need to focus on what is the future of the child in mind, right from LKG level. What is the future for the education? If you look at the picture that depicts, right, even though he's small, if you look at the cap, right, the future, we need to keep it in mind. And what is really required? I mean, we need passionate teachers who can do creative teaching. It's not like you take the book and start reading it, and that's it. I mean, with due respect to teachers, I find very few teachers who are very passionate, who think it's not just like a job for them. It is like, it is 24/7 for them. So we need people who really get into creative teaching. And more about like experiential teaching. It can be exploratory learning, experiential learning. They need to do it themselves. I mean, the kids today are very fast. They have information on their fingertips. They can go to Google. They can find all the information they want. Why do they come to the school? They need that experience. That exploratory learning is what we need to be more focused on. And again, when I say, I'm not against rote learning. Rote learning can be there. I mean, there is a small percentage. The percentage that we have today is maybe some are like even 100% into rote learning. Can we work towards reducing it? Can we slowly, we cannot avoid it. So I just want to summarize by saying that if you really are serious about education, one thing we need is the help from the government. I mean, some of the governments are seriously, like for example, the Delhi government, like Denmark as a country, the way they're taking it seriously for education, the government, right? The schools, the management itself, they need to be more focused on what kind of education they impart, right? The teachers, as I said, it should be passionate teachers. Even the parents, we need parents who understand, not threatening parents, not like, I mean, the parents need to understand what is the, overall picture that they get. And also students the students are very fast. I mean, you cannot change the way the students are. You can just only like show them the direction. So with this, I would like to conclude. I think if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Alim, thank you. This is what I could do in the 8 minutes allotted.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Saifullah sir, for your wonderful insights. And completely I agree with you where imparting the practical skills and along with the morals and values is the need of the hour. And we hope that we get a good scope as we move further. Sir, requesting you to make me as the host. I made you as the host. So what you can do is you can pass on the host rights to me. Yeah.
I'm searching incidents, right?
Yeah, incidents.
Yeah. Done, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
right. Okay.
And I'd like
Thank you
to
so much.
thank
And
the team.
got,
Sorry, Alim, I wanted to thank the team and for taking this opportunity. Education is something that really kicks me, and I'm very happy that you guys are doing it. All the best, and if you need anything, as Shahab sir said, I mean, feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy, and I think the time has started where we need to take the education to the next level. Inshallah. So.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind gesture as well. We got a lot of comments on the YouTube wherein these skills be applied practically what kids learn at the primary level. Is there a question to you?
See, at the primary level, it is too early. But if you look at if they are learning something, right? For instance, I will give an example. There was a subject in fourth standard where there was a topic on say pizza, right? And the way generally what teachers do, they just take it and teach it, right? What we are telling the teachers is, no, don't just teach that. We ask them, like, if you are the delivery boy, what is the problem? So like looking at the pandemic, how will you deliver it, right? That when he learns, I'm sure he will remember it for life. I'm just giving this as one example. I mean, if it is science, for example, right? Teaching science is like they have to do more and more experiments, right? I have to touch the code. I have to write the code. I have to understand how to write the code. It can be anything. If it is mathematics, I cannot memorize the entire steps. Unfortunately, I mean, I know teachers who do not give marks for a different approach. If a student is going to tuition to teacher B has a different solution, they don't agree to that. That is wrong. If I mean, if you really look at the way the students are today, they are stressed. They are, the creativity is good. If you look at a lot of, if you read the reports, I mean, there are TEDx talks on how schools are killing creativity. Why are you killing creativity of the students? How are you killing? It is because we are not making them not to think. We are restricting them. We are putting them inside a box and that this is the answer. You cannot even, the student is not even allowed to write in his own words. If you ask me, a student who is writing 50% in his own words is better than someone who's memorizing it 100% with good handwriting. It doesn't matter. Handwriting does not matter today. I mean, we are in an era, technology is there. I mean, I have not written a lot of things in the last several years because we are using laptops and everything. Things are growing, right? So we should look at education has to upgrade itself. Right? How is it getting upgraded with technology? But we need to strike a balance. So to answer the question, how can we apply? It is based on how you learn. Exactly how you learn, how you apply. Then only it will apply. Otherwise, I just learn. If it is high school, what I would suggest is like, I mean, a lot of people, when I do career counseling, they just choose subjects, right? They choose subjects like engineering. He is a computer science engineer and he comes to me saying that I finished computer science engineering, but I'm not interested in programming. Whoa, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You have chosen computer science and you're saying you're not interested in programming. It's because a lack of understanding even before he chooses. I think from 6th standard onwards, we should start telling them these are all the possible options you have. Make them explore, let them go research, let them go search things on internet. Give them projects. Like every year you can introduce certain things in the curriculum which can be part of the extracurricular activities. Let them explore. By the time you finish 12, they should be aware. Here, I talk to students from 8th standard till even 15 years of experience. But if you really look at, they're confused. I mean, they're confused not because they're not focused at all. The focus is the main factor, if you ask me. So I think I have done enough justice, Alim. So if you have more questions.
Yes. Thank you so much for the practical solution which you gave to all the viewers and all the students as well. Thank you for taking your time and being with us today. So we'll move on with our next panelist.